Hey everybody, Barry Mankin here with Four Corners Environmental. We are in an attic space, not a cave. Spray foam insulation is what we're dealing with today. Fun stuff. Okay, so this was applied a long time ago, which means this was a new product at the time. So this wasn't proven. It wasn't applied very well. Causes lots of problems if it's not done correctly, if it's not mixed appropriately so that it off-gases within a couple of days. In this particular case, we have evidence of areas that were not mixed properly throughout this whole section. And this has been here for several years now. So maybe 8, 9, 10 years. So right at the beginning of when this was kind of coming out. I'm not a fan, ideally. I mean, there's applications where it can work, but open cell in an attic, it has to be just the right conditions. This is not it. You can tell this is open cell just by kind of pushing on it. It's got some give to it. Okay, that's just an easy way to tell that. But there's several types. But basically closed cell, open cell. All right. So this is open cell. It allows things to breathe a little bit more. So they did the right type. Just a terrible application. I'm going to show you this. So this does not look like this. All right, you see the discoloration, the liquid. It almost looks like you're in a cave and you've got all this stalactites and stalagmites going on. That was not properly cured. The reason it wasn't properly cured is that it wasn't properly mixed. So when they're mixing these things on site, on these jobs and these machines, if they don't have a really, really good system, they're not keeping up with it well, or it's not pre-mixed, you're going to get this sort of thing. And at the beginning of this stage of using this type of technology, that happened a lot. What happens with this? Off-gassing of formaldehyde. That's what we're testing for today. So we're actually going to get a sample of this in bulk. We're actually getting air samples of formaldehyde in the house as well, because this is all over the house in different sections. But this attic space is indicative of a terrible job. And how long that can off-gas for years. Okay, so depending on the pressurization of the house, how it draws in, gets into your living space, HVAC sucks it in, blows around, etc. But this is just one way. I just want to let you know, when you're in a foam attic situation, or you're buying a house or whatever, make sure to get this stuff tested. Make sure your formaldehyde levels are low. Make sure you have somebody inspect it to make sure that it cured properly. But that is a good way to tell that it wasn't done correctly. If it's a recent job, usually there's better standards, and most guys are more educated in it. However, it still will off-gas. So it's always a good reason to get that tested. So hopefully this helps. The other thing you want to do, which in this house is another issue, roofers come by and they'll ventilate this attic space. So what does that do when the space is already controlled? It's going to bring moisture in from the outside, from Tennessee, draw that moisture in, and then trap that moisture and hold it in here, right? And then mold grows on this, and then the roots grow in that, right? So depending on the dust, the debris, those are all food sources for mold. But you add moisture in here on top of it, it's going to rain in here. It's going to grow mold on everything. We've got some of that going on in different locations. So moisture is big. This has to be done correctly. It's not just a one and done with any application. So this is a great example of one guy didn't connect with the other guy. So when the roofer comes in, he cuts a hole in the top, makes a hole in the top of the spray foam, draws all that in, and now we don't have proper ventilation for that moisture. So this gets very complicated. But those are the kinds of things that can happen with this. So it has to be the right scenario. It has to be done correctly. So just make sure you cross your T's, dot your I's. You get a good inspector to take a look at it. And anything environmental, give us a call. Thanks.